Hey everyone, Keenan Gray here from DyeStat.com, bringing you another edition of DyeStat Discussions. The NCAA Championships this Saturday from Madison, Wisconsin. So many of the best athletes in the country are going to be there this Saturday, and one of those athletes is right here on your screen right now, Miss Paityn Noe of the University of Arkansas. Such a phenomenal season so far, a really improving season from what we saw as her freshman season, and definitely in that All-American conversation. So delighted to have her on and just chat about this weekend, just the excitement. You've already been at Wisconsin this year. You ran at the pre-national meet, got seventh. What's the excitement? What's the feeling of not only just going there to compete for an All-American spot, but maybe potentially show the Arkansas Razorbacks they're having a finish off a great season.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I think definitely just building off of this year, I've had, like you said, a pretty good start to the year. So going into the meet, I'm just really looking forward to putting it all out there and trying to just see how much I can compete up front. And I think from a team side too, I think I'm really excited to see just kind of how we can do. I think it's kind of like up in the air. With scoring at the national meet, it's so much different. You just never really know how teams are going to place. So I'm definitely excited to see how far up we can get.
Now, before we even talk about this weekend and kind of your season as a whole, you are from the state of Iowa, and there was this particular young lady that just had the race of her life at the Nike Cross Regional Heartland region from Pella High School in Marissa Farabee, which she also beat your state championship record just a couple weeks ago. Just give me your thoughts and like your first initial reactions to this young lady and what she's been able to accomplish within the first couple of years of her high school career.
Yeah, I think I know Marissa. She was a freshman when I was a senior, so um, she was really good then for a freshman. And then last year she was also improving really well too. And I kind of knew going into this year that she was going to be running some pretty fast times. And after her first meets, I was like, oh yeah, that state record. People thought it was going to last forever, but no, no, it went down pretty quickly. Which that's what records are for. They're supposed to be broken. So no, I'm super happy for her. Super excited to see what she can do at like the national meets at like NXN and stuff. So yeah, I've been keeping up with her.
What does that kind of do, to show the state of Iowa, that it is a running culture there. There's a lot of really talented runners there, and it's not even just like Marissa Farabee. I'm throwing in like Ethan Zuber from Ankeny also as well. Like there's some quality athletes in that state.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I like to think that my class kind of helped with it, but I think our just the sport of running has been growing a lot, and it's become more just like exciting. I think in the state, and now more girls are looking forward to kind of competing. It's just like a whole new level. They can go more are looking to go to national meets, looking to race, the best girls in the country. And I think that's super exciting for the sport and for Iowa itself. I think it's just going to keep growing and growing. So.
This year for you, you've obviously have taken a huge step from what we saw from your freshman season. I mean, right now, currently, according to athletic.net, now I know times are irrelevant in cross country, but you have the fourth fastest time at the 6K right now in the NCAA. What did you really work on, this last summer and, the kind of the biggest takeaway you had from your freshman campaign?
Yeah, I think my freshman year, definitely the start of it was super good. I just kind of went into it and was able to hold my own, which I was kind of surprised about at the beginning, but I kind of like grew more confident over the year, and then had a little bit of a injury flare up at SECs, and then that just kind of made it a struggle for the rest of the year. And nationals was not obviously what I wanted it to be, but yeah, that's okay. Came back for outdoor and did decent for what I wanted to do. Then coming into this year, it was just important for me to obviously stay consistent and stay healthy, which I think I did a really good job of. And that's why I've been able to keep progressing and put down the times that I have.
I'm curious, every freshman when they enter college, it's a totally, different atmosphere. It's a different approach. How did the women on your team kind of help you draw you in and like get you a little bit more comfortable, a little more relaxed when it came to racing against some of the best athletes in the country?
Oh, yeah, they were so much help. I mean, coming into it in high school, I hadn't really worked out with anybody. So coming in and working out with girls who were obviously really, really good. it was a new thing for me, but I was also super excited. So I just kind of like jumped in and was super eager to do it and just let them kind of carry me along. And I think that's attitude also helped me going into races. It was basically each race I felt like we were running as a team, and it just like is obviously so much easier when you have girls around you that are kind of pushing you and also like encouraging you. And I think that's why we were all able to run so well, is that we were all kind of working together during the races and doing what we did at practice every day. And I definitely think that contributed a lot to my success.
Who was the one person on your team that kind of took you under your wing your freshman year?
um that would probably be Sydney Thorvaldsen. She I mean, right away we were like working out together. I think, well, we had a big group of girls working out, but definitely in races for cross country, I think we both kind of thrive in that type of race environment. And so we were both kind of really working together. And obviously, she's super talented and super experienced. So just having her there with me kind of was a way to like calm my nerves and just like really help when, the pressure got a lot higher.
Yeah, and just kind of speaking to, when you were racing at Virginia, like you said, it was not the greatest day. Although, I mean, finishing 101st of your first NCAA championships as a freshman, first of all, I've never ran at that level. I'll never run at that level, so I'll never be able to say that. So I feel like that's an okay outcome. But Sydney was an All-American that day. What was the conversation you guys had with each other, after that race, after the season? It's like, all right, Peyton, like, listen, like, today wasn't your best day, but there's nothing to hang your hat about after this season.
Yeah, I think just with the circumstances going into the race, afterwards we were kind of like, that's you can't really expect more out of you. Just like you put it all out there, and it just wasn't in the cards for the day. But obviously, I was super happy for her. I mean, she ran amazing, and that was really encouraging because at the beginning of the season we were kind of running together. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with it, obviously, and we're gonna get back to where we were, and definitely for the next year to come, encouraging.
Now it feels like the roles are reversed a little bit because I know she had her little surgery on her ankle this last summer, and now you are 100% healthy. I think,
Yeah.
correct? Is that the best way to
Yes.
say it? You're 100% healthy this year. Just take me back to Chili Pepper and like the start of it. I mean, I know Mia Cochran also had a great race that day with you as well, but like I mean, it seemed like everything it started off really well at Chili Pepper.
Yeah, going into that, I was super excited to just kind of see what we were gonna do, and I knew the competition wasn't gonna be that high up front, so really it was just kind of like get out, see where we are, and then kind of um, play the race off of that. And we weren't going out there to obviously like kill it. Our first race back, we were just kind of once we got out, me and Maya kind of found each other, and we were just kind of like, okay, this is a good pace, a good tempo, and we're gonna finish it out. And then towards the end, we're like, let's just finish it strong together. And so that was a super encouraging race. We knew that we were both in good shape, but we also knew that there was a lot more that we could do. So that was a good first race of the year, definitely.
I like how you said it was more of kind of like see where it's a rust buster type of feel, and yet you PR by 13 seconds on that course. So I mean, I guess you could call it that if you really want to, but did that give you a pretty good sense of like, okay, my fitness is really good this season, and I should expect myself to see some faster times now.
Yeah, definitely. I think going into it, I wasn't too surprised with the time. I knew I was fit. I knew work I'd put in the summer was going to translate to a faster time than I ran the year before. So yeah, the result of the race didn't really surprise me. It was just again, yeah, an encouraging step forward.
So then taking that approach and then going to pre-nats, which was arguably the first challenge of the season, and rightfully so. It's called pre-nats for a reason because almost every single key player that's going to be there this weekend in Madison was there on that Saturday in October. What was your biggest takeaway from that race, knowing that, again, like I said, you're going to see a lot of these women on Saturday?
Yeah, going into it, I knew it was a super big race. There was going to be a lot of runners, which I was obviously nervous about, but I was excited because I'm like, this is a really great pre-nationals race. Like this is what is the closest to what it's going to feel like at nationals. And so going into the race, I just really wanted to see where I could compete. I wanted to be up front, and I wanted to just see how much I could hang and see where my fitness was really at and really test it. And then during the race, I got out right away, and was in a good position where I wanted to be. And I think that's the most important thing in a race like that, is just the start and getting out, and finding yourself where you want to be. So that was good practice, and I was definitely happy with how I did, but I wasn't completely satisfied. I did think there was a little bit more that I could do, or a little bit more fitness that needed to be gained after that. So I just took that and went into the rest of the year with that kind of in my head, and became more motivated, definitely.
Let's break down that race then. Let's go through the first 2 kilometer. Like we know this course, it's a long straightaway from the start, and then it's obviously that uphill climb, two uphill climbs actually. You were right in position, with Pamela Koske, Hilda, Keely McCabe, all these athletes that are going to be in the mix on Saturday. What was that first 2K like?
Yeah, the first 2K after I got out and kind of found myself surprisingly like really in the front. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let these other girls kind of come around me and kind of take the lead, and I just wanted to kind of settle in and feel out the pace, which I think I did a good job of. And then those hills obviously are kind of they're killers. They are steep, and then they have steep downhills too. So just getting through those, and again, just like settling into the rhythm.
Right around 4K or so, it looks like, started to break away a little bit. Is that part of the race right there where you felt like you maybe could have put a little more energy in, or maybe left something out there on the course?
Yeah, I definitely think that's part of the race. I realized afterwards that I needed to work on. I feel like a lot of the times uh, there's just one move in the race that's made, and it's a surge. And if you don't go with it, that's the race, and it might hurt for like a minute. But then they kind of settle back down to that pace. But if you don't go with it, then you have this gap that's formed. That's kind of you're not able to catch up towards the end of the race. So I think looking back on it, I was definitely like, that's where I should have been. At the same time, I don't think I was completely ready to go with that at the time. Um, and so again, afterwards, I was just like, that's just a fitness thing that I need to be more ready and get more race experience for. And I think going into this weekend, I'm definitely more ready for it. And yeah, it's just that 4K mark that you have to be start paying attention to what everybody's doing, what moves are being made.
Well, I feel like it closed the last 2K though pretty relatively well. I mean, it was almost what you actually ran the first 2 kilometers. So, take me through that last 400 stretch, trying to chase down as many girls, women as possible, because that's probably like one of the longest home stretches you will have at an NCAA course, basically.
Yeah, I think it's long. I don't know if it's longer than the Texas A&M one that we've ran 2 times before. That one's like over 600 meters. That one feels like eternity, but so I'll be prepared for that, I think, for sure. uh but yeah, the last 2K, I think I was definitely struggling more than I wanted to. Actually, I wasn't I would consider what I did like a blow up. I was just kind of maintaining. Instead, I wasn't falling back, but I was maintaining, and instead I want to be pushing forward more during that last 2K. But then that last 400, again, it wasn't my best last 400, but I was just trying to finish strong, and I knew. Again, the position that I wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad race at all. And the girls ahead of me are great runners. But I did want to be a little bit further up than I ended up in.
So finishing seventh, again, as I mentioned, was a pretty good idea to kind of see like where you were at least nationally wise. What did you take away from that race, knowing it's like, okay, like obviously it was a perfect day, and the times were fast. It won't be like that potentially on Saturday with the chance of maybe 35% chance of snow. So what did you really kind of take away from that race, knowing the end result?
Yeah, I think knowing the end result, again, like we talked about, it's figuring out how I can bridge that gap when the surge is made and when the move is made is super important. And then I think just going away, I was like thinking that that was a good day. It was a good look at the course. I think the course is definitely tough. It's my first time ever running on it. So um I really it was a really good time to see what the hills feel like. See, it's a lot of rolling. It's never really flat, and I definitely think I needed to be prepared for that. And so I'm really glad that we went there and we saw that, and I can be more ready for it, especially the second time through the hills and then finishing that last loop for sure.
Then you didn't race for another couple weeks, and then the SEC championships, which that course was way different, just based on the time that you ran. I mean, such a very, very fast course. I mean, heck, I think the guy's winning time was like 21:57 or something like that by I think it was Patrick, or I think it was Patrick. What was that day like? I mean, obviously SECs are such a big deal for the University of Arkansas, not just in cross, but in track. But just for yeah, just take me through that day and what it meant. Also, you brought back Sydney Thorfelton as well for that race.
Yeah, I think that's why we were most excited going to SECs. We had our full team with us, and so it was definitely a little bit more pressure, but it was a race where we could see where we could compete truly with other teams, and especially the SEC teams. We have some really good teams and really good individuals as well. So going into it, I was excited to see where I could place up there, and I knew I could kind of shake up what people were expecting. So I was excited for that. And again, it's a flat course. It's very fast. So I knew it was going to be fast. I knew it was going to be challenging from that aspect. You don't have the hills, but it's like a track. You're running fast. So I was interested to see how that went. And then it was pretty humid compared to what we had been experiencing, so that made it a little bit more different. But yeah, overall, it was a good day for sure.
Do you feel like that time when you see it, is it mind-boggling? Do you believe it? Because when you see someone that runs 18 something for a 6K, it's just like they're really good, and that's a very fast course.
Yeah, I think I definitely was surprised. I think the weekend before the record had been broken, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a fast time. And then you go into the SEC meet, and I think I was off the record by like 2 seconds. Then the top two girls broke it, so you're like, whoa, yeah, we ran really fast. And obviously the course is really flat, but I mean, it's hard with cross country. I think that's why I never really think about the times that much, because the courses are all different and stuff. So I just finished and I'm like, I know it was fast, but it's kind of hard to compare it to other times that you ran when they're on hillier courses.
Yeah. So with comparisons to to the Thomas Zimmer and this course at Texas A&M, like, can you draw some similarities? Can you draw some differences? Are you more confident that you ran this faster time at SECs, or how would you explain it?
Yeah, I think obviously the time, seeing that I ran that time and the how fast it was, it definitely builds confidence. You just know you're fit, you know you're ready to go. Um, it's definitely not as hilly as the course in Madison, which going into this weekend I mentally like prepared for. Like I know it's going to be a different course, a lot more hills, a lot different strategy going into it. It's not just all out basically the entire time, but I think like we said before, one thing that's really helpful is that finishing stretch at the College Station course is longer, if not, yeah, it's longer. So the Madison course finishing stretch, it makes it a little bit more easier. And that's kind of an important part of the race as well, is being able to finish strong when you see the finish line out in front of you, but you still got a little bit to go. So
Yeah, I think probably the best thing for you guys, going into this meet this week as a team was what you were able to accomplish this last Friday, which was win a 13 consecutive South Central title.
mhm.
Like how I know obviously the team aspect has always been a tradition thing at the University of Arkansas, but how truly special was that for you guys to get number 13 in a row?
Oh, that was huge for us. I think just with how rocky we've kind of had of a season, going into it, it wasn't, I feel like in past years it's been kind of an easy meet for us to kind of, we're expected, I guess, to win. Coming into this year, we have more teams, Texas and LSU and Tulane, that actually had potential to win as well. And so going into it, we knew it was going to be tougher, and we knew the competition was higher, and it was just going to be tougher for us in general. So the fact that we were able to come away with a win was huge for us, and really just shows the amount of work that we've put in throughout the season, and
Who
how
really who really came to play in that game?
oh man, I mean it really was a team effort. I mean we ran one by 1 point, so I mean every place counts. Um, and I think we just every girl did their job on the team that they needed to. We had Tiana on our team, ran super well, placed 26th, almost made that All American top 25, or all South Central region top 25. And she ran super well, one of the best races of probably her career. And then we had Sydney, who's, yeah, as you said, been struggling with some injury, and she just ran her heart out and put it all on the line for us, and we needed her to do that. And so I think, again, it was just every person came to play that day.
Now we've reached the end of the season this Saturday, of course, in Madison, Wisconsin. What's that final message? I know you guys leave tomorrow morning and head over to Wisconsin, but like what's the final message from within that group, from your coach, just telling these ladies, all right, guys, like we've been through a lot this season, but like everybody's here now, everybody is somewhat healthy. We have our entire team. What's that inner circle going to be talking about before that start line goes off?
Um, for sure, just how resilient we've been this season. We've put in the work, obviously, and we um, have come out on top again. And I'm just really excited to see what we can do. And I think we're all just going to be running for each other for sure. I think through everything that we've been through throughout the season and all the races, and we are really just running for each other. And I'm super proud of everything, no matter the outcome. I'm super proud of all the girls, and I think we will run good. Um, yeah.
For you, you have an opportunity as an individual, as I said earlier, like to make a big improvement, but also potentially be the top American because this is a sport that is um, run by a lot of international athletes. Kind of, what would that mean to be the top American? What would that mean to be one of those top 10, maybe even top 5 individuals at nationals?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be huge. I going into the season, I knew I wanted to have a special season, and I think that would just solidify it. And I think with all the work that I've put in, it would mean a lot. And every race that I've gone into, it's kind of been like, okay, let's just see like how we can mix it up. Let's see how we can, with the international girls, let's just see how far we can get up. I want to compete with them. I don't want to shy away from them, and so I really just want to, like you said, go out there and compete. And yeah, if I get top American, that'd be amazing. I know there's some other girls I could get it too, and I'm just want all of us to go out there and run our best for sure.
I think probably the most important thing for you is it's going to be really close to Iowa. Can we expect a lot of family to be up there watching you racing on Saturday?
Yeah, yep. Family and even some family friends are coming, so I have a big cheer squad coming on. I'm super excited.
So, having them race in the Midwest, like I mean, how special is that for you? You've grown up watching this meet, and I know it's not specifically in Iowa, but I got a good feeling that like, the University of Wisconsin is like a place that everyone in the Midwest wants to run at some point.
Yeah, no, I watched it. Yeah, like you said, I've watched this meet growing up, and it's awesome that it's in the Midwest. I mean, the conditions, I wouldn't say I'm gonna love them, but I think I've definitely grown accustomed to them. So I'm not gonna come cold and snow. I'll be ready to run. Yeah.
I feel like you should be used to it by now since you grew up with it when you were in the state of Iowa. So if you're afraid of the snow, I think there's some concerns here I have. If maybe your parents didn't toughen you enough.
No, yeah, I've definitely ran in the snow quite a bit, so I'm prepared for it.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing what you do on Saturday, and I'm sure it's going to be a great result, not just for yourself, but for the team. It's just kind of a culmination of what this season has really offered for you and such a great sophomore campaign. So, Peyton, wish you and the Arkansas women nothing but the best this Saturday. Again, everybody can tune into the NCAA Division One championships this Saturday on ESPNU from Madison, Wisconsin. Peyton, good luck to you and the Arkansas Razorback women. We'll pick.
Thank you.